Hey guys, Clyde here. You're watching Play-by-Play on Clyde Plays, and today we have a very special match. It's another destroyer match, this time in a British Tier 6 destroyer called the HMS Icarus. The Icarus, like all British destroyers, has a unique trait where it can fire its torpedoes in full salvos of 4 or 5 or however many torpedoes it is. I think on the Icarus they're 4s, or in single torpedo launches. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4 and launch them individually, or 1, 2, wait 2 minutes, and then launch 3, 4. Again, this is a unique trait to the British Tech Tree destroyers. It's a thing that they can do, and it's one of the things that makes these destroyers kind of interesting to play. So when I joined into this battle, I came in with a friend who is in a Budyonny. That is a Tier 6 Russian light cruiser. In fact, one of my favorite Tier 6 light cruisers in the game. At some point, I would not be surprised to see a Budyonny video on Play-by-Play. So we log into this battle here, this match, and the two of us spawn smack in the center. This map is called Two Brothers. If you are a World of Warships player, you know Two Brothers. It's got these two big chonky islands in the middle. There's a channel that runs up the middle, and at the very beginning of every battle, somebody talks about going up the middle of these two islands. And usually, if somebody does, that person dies immediately, and we all laugh and say, "See, it never works." But sometimes it does work, and sometimes when people do it and it works, it is the greatest thing ever. That said, that is like 1 out of 1,000 battles. If you don't know about Two Brothers, that probably means that you don't play World of Warships. And if you would like to, if you've been watching these play-by-play videos and you're like, that sounds kind of interesting, and you want to give it a try, there is a link in the description of this video to a join link, basically, for World of Warships. And if you use that link when you create your World of Warships account as a new player, you'll get 2 free premium ships and other great goodies from Wargaming. The deal changes from time to time, but usually it always includes 2 free premium ships. Sometimes you have to earn the second one, but it basically sets up your account to get this great stuff. So that's great for you. It's good for me. It's a great way to support the channel. It costs you nothing. So again, if you're looking to try World of Warships, give that link a shot, and I would appreciate it. So we decide to lean to the east. We want to have a strong eastern push. Like I said, we spawned into the middle of this battle, and so we leaned east to increase the number of friendly ships on this side. It looks like the enemy has quite a few ships heading to the east side as well, so maybe all we did was balance the score. The hope, of course, is that our guys on the west can stay strong, can stay safe, and can dish up more damage than they take, while we do some really good work on this side. And I'm sure the guys on the west are hoping the same thing, right? That we can just hold our own while they are the heroes of this battle as well. And so obviously we'll see how all of that goes. So around this time, I'm trying to choose a target. If you're looking at the minimap, check it out. In that line of red ships that kind of spans the entire map is actually a really great setup. That's good positioning for Team Red here, because what that means is if I sailed due south here directly towards that line, as soon as I was spotted, everybody who's on that line could take a shot at me. It'd be very dangerous for me to be the Here comes a few torpedoes. Because I was already engaged in a left-hand corner, I decided to keep turning left. In other words, away from the torpedoes. Typically, I would recommend that people drop their throttle all the way into full reverse and hook a right or towards the torpedoes, because that tends to get you pointed in a way where not only are you slowing down, but you're turning towards them, and that's going to tighten your corner in such a way that you can usually dodge the torpedoes better. But because I was already in a corner, it made it really easy for me to dodge them going left. So I managed to dodge those. They were pretty wide set as well. Airplanes are dropping torpedoes behind me. I'm able to weasel my way out of getting hit by those as I approach this island, on the other side of which is a hostile New York. One thing I like to do with these British destroyers, especially playing lower tiers, and I hate to say this because it sounds like seal clubbing, because it kind of is seal clubbing, but when I play against these lower tier ships, especially with captains that are less experienced, you can get really close to battleships because they're not paying attention, or maybe they got off by themselves. I should have gotten hit by that torpedo. That is total BS. That was a great drop by the aircraft carrier, and I am just amazed that I was able to kiss that as it went by without taking any damage. But like I said, you can often get close to a battleship who wandered off by himself. He's not protected by his allies. He doesn't have an escort or a screen. And then what you can do is pop your British smoke, which doesn't last very long, and then launch your torps one by one, just like I've done here, which creates this continuous stream of damage that hits these ships. Now, as I'm doing this to this New York, my friend is on voice with me on Discord, and he says, hey, they all went down the channel. They're in the cap. We have to stop this. And I'm like, yeah, okay, let me finish killing this New York, and I'll come right back. But British destroyers don't have a turbo booster. They don't have an engine speed booster consumable. And so I have to just come back in a straight line as fast as I can without any plus 8% speed or whatever it is that you get from the turbo. As I'm working my way back, my friend in the Budyoni has found a way to back his light cruiser into a cove where he's sort of protected from torpedoes, but he's telling me over voice right now, I don't have acoustics on this thing. I have the Turbo AA consumable, so I am ill-prepared to fight the 3 destroyers that are popping out of the channel right now. And I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. I literally, this is the fastest I can go, and I am hauling. I am calling out into using the built-in emotes, the F keys, telling my team, hey, our base is being capped. That's a game loser right there if we don't make this happen. Meanwhile, the Budyoni is dropping these destroyers. Perfect. It's like shooting fish in a barrel over here. These low HP destroyers are getting dumped. But there's so many of them, and he is taking damage that he's not going to be able to hold it out forever. So I start lighting my guns off as I get close. I don't really want these guys to know where I am, but I need our guys, or their guys, excuse me, who are in our cap to take damage, to reset the capture points, and to hopefully buy us a little bit of time until me and or some other guys can get back. It looks like we're getting a ship coming in from the west too, but he's low on hit points, so I don't know how much that's going to help us. I can see this guy, he's popped into his smoke, so I activate my acoustics. Another great thing that's a tool that the British destroyers have is acoustics. So I smash my acoustics button, and I steam straight for that smoke. What I'm trying to do, and there are the torps that take out the Budyoni, I'm alone in the world. What I'm trying to do is get over here to where I can see that guy and he can't see me. So I start heating him up, but there's a battleship coming out of the channel. And so I'm spotted by the battleship, which allows the guy in the smoke to see me. I put my fish in the water, so I launch these torpedoes, and I do it pretty rapidly, fairly haphazardly. I'm very close to that battleship, so hopefully accuracy is, got a wide margin for error. I kill the guy in the smoke. Great shooting on my part, if I may say so myself. But then I turn around, and I realize that I didn't hit with quite enough torpedoes. I landed 5 torpedoes on that battleship. But due to the fact that battleships are freaking beefcakes and also damage saturation, I probably hit a lot of those in the same position. We can watch this video back to find out. He didn't take a lot of damage. In fact, yeah, you can see the nose of that ship is all blackened and damaged. The rest of it looks pretty good. So I launch a second rack of torps, and we dump them by landing a couple more. So the base is now safe. But what happens here is I go, great, what do I do next? I'm actually in a really poor position to help my team. I either have to drive forever to try to get somewhere that's useful, or that's literally my only option. I decide to head over to the west side of the map. I don't know if this was actually the best call. I should have probably gone up the channel to go into the cap to back up the guys on the east side who are coming around. You can see those folks in the mini-map. I'm just going to fast forward through some of this. Come on. Yada. We sail some more. Okay, so eventually what I decide to do is, rather than chase the 2 ships that went back up to fight over the red team's cap, I decide to go help these 2 battleships with this Bayern. Partly because I think I can actually get there, and maybe I can get enough damage to break 100,000. Wouldn't that be cool at tier 6 to break 100k in a destroyer? Plus the Bayern's at least loosely sailing in my rough direction, whereas the other ships are sailing away, and if you have to pursue a ship in a destroyer that doesn't have a turbo, it takes a very long time for the 25-knot battleship to get caught by a 32-knot destroyer or whatever, because you're only really making up 7 knots of speed over time. So I come over here. This battleship is I've got 7-kilometer torps. I launch these torpedoes a little bit early, but I think, hey, maybe the battleship's sailing towards me, he'll make up the distance, and these will hit. Plus, I can get them reloading and work on how I want to position myself for my second rack. So I get those in the water. Here's my friendly New York. He's got a lot of hit points. There is another friendly battleship over there who's low, and that guy over there seems to be the apple of the Bayern's eye. Now, the Bayern is a Tier 6 German battleship. It's got good secondaries for its tier. It's kind of an example of things to come, I guess, as you work your way up the German line. They only get better from here. The Gneisenau gets better, the Bismarck gets better, the Friedrich de Grosse gets better, and of course the Kurfürst has 11.5 click secondaries by the time you get up to Tier 10. I pop my British smoke. Now, British smokes, you get a lot of them, but they don't last very long. So I think to myself, I know, I'll pop my British smoke, I'll launch these torpedoes, I'll do them one at a time, staggered, just like I did for that New York earlier in the match, that, each time I fire, I have a little bit more information about where this guy's intending to move, how fast he's going, which direction he's turning his rudder, and so on. But check out the fancy footwork on this dude in the frickin' Bayern. He sees my torps, and because I staggered them, it actually gives him a huge window, and he steps right through. My hubris!
That was easy.
Classic tale of old. I flew too close to, I guess, the Bayern in this case, and my smoke goes away, because British smoke. And then he sets his secondaries on me, and there's the mains, and that's it. That's it for poor Icarus. I do have this guy on fire, and so I think maybe I'll get the last laugh. So I zoom in to watch him explode, but the Bayern has a hull repair, which he's hit. And so he's gaining hit points as I'm burning them away, which really does chap me, because I wanted to get to that 100,000 damage, and I also, of course, wanted to kill this guy. I think if he'd have burned out, I still wouldn't have reached 100k, but I zoom out a little bit here to kind of get a feel for what's going on. The New York is firing AP at an angled Bayern, which doesn't really do well. And so this little slugfest continues on for a couple of minutes, but with just one ship left, the red team cannot resist our victory. I really hope you enjoyed this video today. I hope you found it educational. I hope you found it entertaining. And if you did, please hit the like button and subscribe so you'll never miss another play-by-play. If you can't wait for the next video, go check out the other content that's already on my channel. There are several other videos just like this one waiting for you there. Thank you so much for watching. Please take care of each other, sail with friends, and we'll see you out there on the high seas, captains.